and some wards are as big as some counties in Kenya. For instance, a ward represented by the leader of majority is extremely vast and expensive. Extremely vast and expensive. A ward goes close to 10,000 square kilometers. That's a ward. Now, for this member to reach his voters in each part of the world, it becomes so difficult, especially with very bad terrain, and the cost of petrol to access these areas also becomes a big challenge. So among the issues we are facing as a county is the infrastructural problem in virtually all over. We have the Lake Turkana area, which would have been a source of living for majority of Kenyans. The lake is almost 100% underdeveloped because of lack of infrastructure. Our plea as the county assembly or as the leadership of Turkana is to have the government find some funds to have this road from Lodwar to the lake fixed, so that the tourism in this region be boosted. We wouldn't wish to have a situation where only the negative is read about the Turkana County. We have moved away from that negative terrain. The negative things you read about Turkana County is along the border of Baringo and West Pokot. The moment you are 20-30 kilometers into Turkana, it's extremely safe, and you wouldn't hear any incidents of gunshots or whatever, or thugs. This is one of the stable counties in terms of democracy. Since independence, we have never had commotions, especially after elections. Everybody is given an opportunity to vote where he wants, or where he or she wants. Then he goes to his place. So the nature of Lodwar town, Lodwar municipality, reflects the face of Kenya. You will find all the 47 tribes, including the recently naturalized one from the coast region. They are also represented here. So all Kenyans live in Lodwar, and Lodwar is the face of the Republic of Kenya. And that's how, as the leadership, we would want this county of Turkana to be. As the county assembly, we are faced with a number of issues. And since the inception of the third assembly, we have passed about 6 bills. About 6 bills. And about 5 more are in the process of being considered. We have passed the Animal Health Bill 2023, Education Fund Bill 2023, Finance Bill 2023, the CIDP, Environmental Bill 2023, and climate change regulations have also been passed, and water service regulations. Now, while considering these bills, several committees which these bills are domiciled experience a number of challenges, especially the financial challenges. To have effective public participation requires a lot of capital outlay because of the logistical involvement and also the physical distance between the place where the assembly sits and where the stakeholders are resident. So that in itself is a challenge in terms of financial considerations. So it's our plea, when we make requests of such a nature, you consider us as a unique part of this republic, extremely unique. We are not going we are very happy with where the revolution has reached us, and we would not want also to blame the previous regimes for where they placed us as a county. Our intention is to move on from where we are for some better. Mr. Speaker, I know we have been very good friends right from 2007 when you were the Minister for USA Affairs, when I was also a member of Parliament for East African Assembly. We used to have sessions in Arusha, and you are our minister. I'm very glad that we are also, God has given us an opportunity again to meet at this far end. I have a lot of respect and confidence in you, and also in terms of leadership and decision making, because of your experience, because of your academic vigor. There are issues which have been raised by matters of insecurity. Matters of insecurity. This county has had issues of insecurity. Extreme issues. Very many issues. The latest and the most burning issues is the issue of Kenyans who have been court-martialed in the Republic of Uganda. And these are purely passports. The situation under which they were arrested is not very clear. They were duped, and suddenly they were rounded. It's our appeal as a community of Turkana to request the Senate to make some intervention on this matter, so that we can secure release of these Kenyans who have been held on the other side. Hinging securing of funds on the executive infringes the principle of separation of powers. And therefore, while exercising oversight function over the executive, and it's the same executive that holds the powers for the assembly, I find something would not be functionally well with that arrangement. And the thinking which has been postulated by Senator from Nairobi about the bill on financial autonomy of county assemblies, to me is the right way to go. It's the right way to go to uphold the principle of separation of powers, and also to have independent oversight of county assemblies on executive. My other request, which could be the second final request, is on matters of matters on delimitation of boundaries. Matters of delimitation of boundaries. I want to discuss it in twofold. First, there is a settlement which has now been done along Baringo, West Pokot, Turkana county, the counties that are bordering. that is the right direction to go. But at the same time, there is need to involve elders from both sides, so that the government shouldn't arbitrarily dissect a region whose dwellers haven't agreed on where it belongs. You make a lot of decision to gazette an area without involving those people who are domiciled in those areas could be in itself a recipe for chaos. Therefore, I would argue that that process be looked into keenly. The intention is okay, because we have situations where a location is in Turkana and the same location has a different name in West Pokot or in Baringo. But the same place, Turkana County Commissioner posts a chief there. Baringo County Commissioner also posts a chief. So there are two chiefs earning the same salary from the same government in the same place. So as much as the government is very right to do that assessment, but involvement, public participation to resolve the possible dispute arising out of that decision needs to be done. Then finally, on issues that have been raised by Liberal majority. Liberal majority has underscored the importance of devolution and the role played by the Senate in enhancing devolution. You've realized that there are various gaps. When you enter these chambers, there are a number of gaps. It's not like the National Assembly or the Senate. And it's all our wish that county assemblies become replicas of Senates, both by design and infrastructure. In that regard, apart from economically empowering low-dwelling municipality by way of boosting the business fortunes of people who will be interacting with the Senate and its staff, which is a reality. We also wish to request you to leave your footprints behind, because this is the last time. In the next 7 years, this county will be hosting the Senate. I'm quite certain that this thing is purely perfectly rotational. Perfectly rotational in such that there is no county or county assembly would hold the Senate twice without another one having an advantage of the same. Now, for that case, what I'm only requesting as your colleague, as a friend, a long-time friend, and as promoters of devolution, is to leave your footprints perfectly behind. My operating word is perfectly behind. Perfectly in the sense that you don't go back with anything. All the infrastructure you have brought in, including the cameras, including including the portable ACs outside. I know you might have procured some of them by way of hire or lease, but the Senate is an appropriating organ of this republic. And when a big brother comes and visits you, that feeling must be extended, must be felt thoroughly for some time, and becomes an historical mark. So that in future, when you probably become the president of this country, because I can see you going in that direction. Because it's very rare for somebody to escalate that way. That only decision of leaving everything back in Turkana, especially in Turkana County Assembly, will be very memorable for us as your footprints, even in the future. When all of us retire and I happen to visit you in Coast, I would have something to say. What you left there has edged to this level. And would be very glad when I speak. So I don't want to tie you with so many sentiments, but I would request that I would take this opportunity to welcome you to make some brief remarks.
Thank you, Speaker of the County Assembly of Turkana, the leadership of the County Assembly of Turkana. Allow me, Honorable Speaker, before I even say anything, to say this on behalf of the Senate as an institution, the individual senators, and on behalf, to really thank you for the warm reception and hospitality extended to us this far. We've been here for those who came yesterday, those of us who just arrived. But honestly, we truly feel we belong. You know, the feeling of brotherhood, the feeling of sisterhood is very much ruling the air. And we want to say thank you so much for this warm hospitality. Now, Honorable Speaker and the leadership of the County Assembly of Turkana. Indeed, just like you say, you know, there are 47 counties. And the odds of the Senate coming to Turkana, you can actually place the odds. But we chose Turkana very carefully and very deliberately. We did not toss a coin so that it came as by sheer luck. And the remoteness of Turkana attracted the Senate because we felt like as a Senate we cannot use remoteness as an excuse not to visit a certain county. In fact, the remoteness was one of the key factors of us making this decision to come here, because we want to, you know, come to face with the challenges that is facing the most remote counties in this country. And therefore choosing Turkana County was extremely deliberate. And I believe the 1 week that we'll be here will be able to learn a lot, get to know the challenges that this county is facing, which I believe will be mirroring other counties, so that as the Senate retires to Nairobi, it can be able to discuss matters from first-hand experience, having spent a whole week here. Now, of course, you're aware that the primary role of the Senate is to protect devolution, you know, the counties and their governments. And by extension, the county assemblies are partners of the Senate. They are brothers at the grassroots. Just like you've said, you know, your big brothers and big sisters are here, and certainly you need to feel their presence even when they've long left. I believe that will be so. We view county assemblies as partners. others, you stifle the leadership freedom. You stifle the space to exercise the leadership, hence not their growth. But again, those governors who feel like they will never want to give the county assembly that kind of autonomy for reasons better known to them. But for me, if you need to have effective oversight over your county government, you need that independence. Okay? Independence that is embedded in the law. To the extent that whether you're in good books with your governor or not, that should not in any way be used against you in terms of trying to stifle your freedom to exercise oversight. So again, I believe that bill will find its will be discussed during this particular session. Another interesting issue you raised, Honorable Speaker, is the issue of the limitation of boundaries and how to settle boundary disputes between counties. The Senate again is seized of this matter. There's actually a bill that has been developed, and I want to believe that in the course of our plenary sessions in this county assembly, we will be able to discuss this. We have carefully chosen, in fact, the business that will be transacted during this week to bring relevance to the business of the Senate and to the county of Turkana. And I want to implore upon you, Honorable Speaker, that in as much as we are going to displace you and your members for this 1 week, please don't leave Lodwar. I want to urge the honorable members to be around and extract as much as you can from these senators. There's so much that you can learn, and there's so much also that these senators can be able to learn from you, so that when they go back to Nairobi, they have that advantage of that knowledge that is being experienced at the county level. So please, and I'm happy, if you look at the program, for example, for the week, there is a lot of matching the committees. The Senate Committee of Agriculture, for example, sitting with the County Assembly of Turkana Standing Committee on Agriculture. That is going to really allow us to share a lot of good practices, so that as we leave, then we leave that mark you've been ably talked about, not the mark that I believe some of us were thinking, but that good mark of leaving knowledge to the members of the County Assembly of Turkana, so that you can proudly say, were it not for the Senate visiting Turkana, we wouldn't be this far. That is the kind of impact we would wish to leave behind, and that can only be made possible if, instead of your members leaving Lodwar because the chambers are now being occupied by the Senate, they will work very closely with us so that they can extract as much knowledge as they can. And this goes beyond the interaction between the members of the County Assembly and the senators. We have the most senior members of the Secretariat here, led by Mr. Jeremiah Nyegenye, our clerk. So even the team, the clerk and his team, the directorates, we have all these directors here, very senior people in the Senate, who are willing to share their experiences with your people. So let these 3-4 days that we are here be used to really, better our relationship, deepen our relationship, so that as we go back to Nairobi, this county is left richer than we found it. Basically, I think that's what I wanted to share. I know you've made some wish that because the Senate is around, there's some things that were brought here to better our debates and plenary session, and it's your wish that as we go back, we don't carry. As a speaker, I make my decision through consultation, and my engine of making decision in the Senate is the Senate is the House Business Committee. I believe I will. The only thing I can guarantee you now is I'll put that request before that committee, and I know the membership in that committee will be very receptive, and certainly we will be able, if not everything, but substantial, may be left behind. But let me not guarantee that. I can only give you a hope that once we sit. But we will be glad, of course. We will be glad, to leave these things behind, because we know they'll help you in discharge of your function. So, Honorable Speaker, thank you so much for welcoming us to Turkana. Later, these 3 days ahead of us, be, a wonderful engagement, learning, exchange of experiences, so that as we leave, then we leave Turkana better than we found it. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Right Honorable Speaker. I am aware you are required, your program. The program tells me you should be somewhere again. That is, we are very to work with, because it's a learning process, and they'll be around. Those who would have an opportunity to appear or come, they would have an opportunity to come into the public gallery if space will allow. But if space will not allow, we'll tell them to follow from wherever they will be, because technology is all about. Therefore, we really appreciate, and we're looking forward to learning a lot from you. Thank you, and be blessed. Yes.
Great. I believe that brings us to the end.
Yes. Yes. That brings us to the end of our meeting, and I will now hand over the process to the protocol handlers. Proceed from where we have left.
Clerk, you're in your hands.
Honorable Speakers, I think we've come to the end of this meeting. Then the rest of the program will run. Those who are going to committees, they go to committees, to the offices. The program runs as indicated. Thank you. Speaker, we'll show you to your office.
That's good.